Hi guys! Welcome back again to our YouTube channel. My name is Lovely and I arrived here in the USA under the K1 visa program or the Fiance Visa Petition. So for today's video, I'm going to share with you how we filled out the Declaration of Financial Support or the USCIS Form I-134. And this is one of the requirements that I brought with me during my US Embassy Manila interview. So some immigration consul will ask for your Form I-134, but it's a case-to-case basis. Some do not really ask for it, but we'd rather suggest to bring everything to your interview, including all the requirements needed that they might ask from you. So just a disclaimer before we start. Just a disclaimer, I am not an immigration expert or an immigration attorney. All information shared in this content is based on our personal experience and knowledge on how we update or how we process our K1 visa petition. Okay, so let's begin. So the Declaration of Financial Support or the Form I-134, this is the financial or the affidavit of support. Okay, this is the affidavit of support that your petitioner will fill out and bring it and provide to you during your US Embassy interview. So this is an example of the form that we filled out. By the way, our background is my petitioner was divorced one time. And the beneficiary, me, I am from the Philippines and never been married, and we don't have kids as well. So for today's video, I just downloaded the form I-134 from the USCIS website, and the latest expiration date is November 30, 2026. This is the latest as of today. And also, guys, the form edition is updated as of November 9, 2023. So, okay. So, this form consists of 13 pages. And we will walk you through, guys, on how we filled out the details and everything. Okay. So, just to start here, type or print in black ink. Okay. If you are going to fill out this form handwritten, you need to use black ink. Okay, but if you are going to type it in your computer, of course, when you print it, guys, you have to use black ink as well. Okay, so part 1, basis for filing. You select, I am filing this form on behalf of, the first option would be myself as the beneficiary or another individual who is the beneficiary. Okay, so my petitioner is the one who filled out this form. So we selected this part here. Another individual who is the beneficiary, which is me. Okay. All right. For part 2, it is going to be the information about the beneficiary. All right. Complete part 2, regardless of whether you are filing this form on behalf of yourself as the beneficiary or on behalf of another individual who is the beneficiary. So number 1, beneficiary's current legal name. Do not provide a nickname. So for example, family name of the beneficiary is Santos, Maria, and the middle name is Lee. Number 2, other names used. Provide all other names the beneficiary has ever used, including aliases, maiden name, and nicknames. If you need extra space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 8, additional information. So for me here, since the beneficiary don't have any other nicknames or other names, so I just put not applicable in all the fields here. Alright? Okay, let's proceed to 3. The date of birth of the beneficiary. Please follow the correct format date. Number 4 is gender. And then the alien registration number, if any. So, I just put NA or not applicable for that. And then, number 6 will be the place of birth of the beneficiary. The state of province. For example, Manila. State of province, Metro Manila. Country is Philippines. The country of citizenship or nationality of the beneficiary is from the Philippines. The marital status of the beneficiary is single, never married. Okay? You can also select married. Whatever applies to you guys. Married, divorced, widowed, legally separated, marriage annulled, other, and then you have to explain further. Alright? That's number 8. We are still in part 2, information about the beneficiary. Okay? Continuation for part 2 is the beneficiary's mailing address. So provide a street name, street number and name. Let's say house number, Ramos Street, San Andres. And then if you have apartment or floor number, city or town, Manila. Okay, state, I put NA and then I put the zip code. Province is Metro Manila, postal code, and then country is the Philippines. So this is the beneficiary's mailing address. For number 10, the question is, are the beneficiary's mailing address and physical address the same? My answer is yes. So if you answered no to item number 10, if the beneficiary have another address, you have to provide the physical address in item number 11. So if other than this address, guys, if your beneficiary have another address or different from this, you have to fill out item number 11. This is the beneficiary's physical address. So in my case, since my address is just the same and I answered yes to number 10, I just put not applicable in every field here under number 10. Okay, so are we clear? Let's proceed. Now is the beneficiary's anticipated length of stay. Okay, so number 12, beneficiary's anticipated period of stay in the United States. So for the date from, this is the anticipated arrival date that I put in my DS-160. Remember? The DS-160 when you filled out the DS-160 form before your US interview, US Embassy Manila interview. So this is just it's just an anticipated, guys. Just there's nothing to be exact. You just have to your anticipated arrival. So I just put, for example, December 25, 2024, and then for the 2, select one. Until when? So I just said, since we are joining or under the K1 visa program and you will be you will live permanently in the United States. So I just selected no and date. Alright? Okay. So now let's proceed to page 3. Okay. And then this is still a continuation for the information about the beneficiary. Okay, beneficiary's financial information. Provide information about the beneficiary's income and assets. If you need additional space to complete any item number in this section, use the space provided in Part 8 additional information. So, for number 13, you are asked to provide the beneficiary's income. Provide all the information requested in the table below about the beneficiary, all of the beneficiary's dependents, and any other individuals the beneficiary financially supports. Just do not include any individual named in Part 3. And information about assets that are not based on employment should be added in item number 16 and not in item number 13. So what we did here, guys, is, so the beneficiary, even if I was working before, we did not include my income or in any assets. I did not declare it to the I-134 because it does not matter. What matters is the income of your petitioner. If he really pass the 100% poverty guideline, to be able to support you and to be the primary sponsor. Okay? So for me, I just put my name. For example, Maria Lee Santos. So guys, follow the correct format, ha? First name first, middle name, and then last name. Okay? And then I put my date of birth, and then relationship to the beneficiary, type or print self if you are filing for yourself. as the beneficiary or beneficiary if someone is agreeing to support you. So what it means here, guys, is you will type self if you are supporting yourself, meaning there's no other person agreeing to support you. No other person is involved. No other person is sponsoring you. Okay? So, I just selected or I typed beneficiary and then the income contribution to the beneficiary annually. If none, type or print 0. So, I just put 0, guys. Total dependence is 0 and then total income is 0 as well. Alright? So, this is the beneficiary's income. Okay, let's proceed to question number 14. Does any of the beneficiaries' total income, including income from dependents and other individuals who contribute to the beneficiary's income, including any individuals named in Part 3, come from an illegal activity or source, such as proceeds from illegal gambling or illegal drug sales? Okay, do not forget to answer yes or no. Of course, my answer to this is no. And then for number 15, if you answered yes to 14, meaning if you have another your income source come from an illegal activity and you answered yes, you have to provide or answer item number 15. Okay? Provide what amount of the beneficiary's total income comes from an illegal activity or source. So you have to provide. For me, I just selected, or I can just put 0 here. Or you can just leave it blank. Alright? Alright, so let's now proceed to page 4. And this is still information about the beneficiary. This is a continuation of the information about the beneficiary. So, this time, we are going to list down the beneficiary's assets. So, for number 16, in the table below, provide the amounts of assets available to the beneficiary for the expected period of his or her stay, excluding assets from any individual's name in Part 3. Attach evidence showing that the beneficiary has these assets. Okay, so if the beneficiary has assets, you can list down here. If no, so for me, as a K1 visa beneficiary, I did not include my income and I did not declare any assets. So I just put not applicable, and then for the type of asset, you just select NA and then put 0. Do not forget to put 0 in the total also. Alright? Okay, so we're done with question number 16. Now let's move forward to part 3. Information about the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary named in Part 2. If you are not the beneficiary named in Part 2, complete Part 3. Okay? So for Part 3, this is the information of your petitioner. This is the petitioner's information. The petitioner who is going to sponsor you. Alright? So, what is number 1? What is the current legal name of your petitioner? Do not provide a nickname. So, for example, Smith, family name is Smith. First name is, given name is John, and middle name is Saul. Okay, number 2, other names used. Provide all other names you have ever used, including aliases, maiden name, nicknames. If you need extra space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 8 additional information. So, if your petitioner or anybody who agrees to sponsor you or will be one of your sponsors, if they used other names, you can list down here, family name first, given name, and middle name. And for our case, we don't have that, so I just put not applicable. Alright? Number 3 is the current mailing address of your petitioner, of your sponsor. So, for example, you put the mailing address, for example, number 2, Pine, City or Town of Orlando, in Florida State, and the zip code, postal code, and the country is USA. Alright? Okay, so we're done with page 4. We are now moving forward to page 5. This is still a continuation of information about the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary named in Part 2. So this is a continuation of the information about your sponsor, or in my case, as a K1 visa applicant, my petitioner is my primary sponsor. For question number 4, is your mailing address the same as your current physical address? If it's the same, you answer yes. If no, you have to provide the physical address other than the one mentioned in item number 3 or question number 3. If your petitioner have another address, you can provide the physical address here. In our case, it's not applicable. It's just one address, so I just put not applicable. Alright? Is it clear, guys? Alright, so, okay, let's continue. Other information about your sponsor or your petitioner, the date of birth of your petitioner, okay, follow the correct format, and then place of birth, the state or province, the country of birth of your petitioner. Number 8, alien registration number, if any. If none, I just put not applicable or NA, and then USCIS online account number, you just simply put NA as well, if it's not applicable to you. Alright? Now, next is immigration status of your sponsor or your petitioner. So number 10, question number 10 is, what is your current immigration status? Provide documentation as provided in the instruction. So, okay, so what is the immigration status of your sponsor or your petitioner? In our case, my petitioner is a U.S. citizen, so I selected U.S. citizen. Other options are U.S. national, lawful permanent resident. If you selected lawful permanent resident, you have to provide the alien registration number of that sponsor. Non-immigrant, Form I-194 arrival departure record, and others you can just provide an explanation here. Alright? So we're done with page 5. Let's move to page 6. This is still a continuation of the information about the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary named in Part 2. So, this is the employment information of your sponsor or your petitioner. So, employment status in question number 11, is your sponsor or petitioner employed or other? Employed, unemployed, or not employed, retired, and others. So, in my case, we selected employed. If you indicated that you are employed in item 11, provide the information requested in item 12 and 13. So, since I selected employed, I provided the title or the position of my sponsor. So, the sponsor, I selected I am currently employed as an engineer, for example, and then the name of the company. And then that's for number 12. Number 13, what is the current employer's address of this company being asked in 12? So provide the street number and name, city or town, postal code, country, state, and the zip code, guys. Alright, so this is the employment information. Once we're done, we can move forward and proceed to the financial information of your sponsor or your petitioner. Provide information about your income and assets. If you need additional space to complete any item number in this section, use the space provided in Part 8 additional information. So, this time, you will be asked to provide the income of your sponsor or your petitioner. For question number 14, provide all information requested in the table below about yourself, all of your dependents. Okay, so about the sponsor, the sponsor's dependents, if any, and any other individuals that the sponsor or your petitioner is financially supporting. Do not include any individual's name in Part 2. Information about assets that are not based on employment should be added in item 17 and not in item number 14. So, okay, so for the assets, for the income of the petitioner, so I just type in the full name of your petitioner or your sponsor, the date of birth, and then on this table part, in this column, guys, relationship to the individual agreeing to financially support. Type or print self for individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So, for me, I just put petitioner or self. You can also do that. Alright? And then, the income contribution to the beneficiary annually. If none, type or print 0. So guys, this figure, guys, can be found in the income tax return of your petitioner or your sponsor. So this is the gross income of your sponsor or petitioner in the IRS. So this is just for an example. So for example, it's the income. For example, your interview will be this year of 2024. You have to ask your petitioner what is his annual income, gross income for the year 2023. So for example, if he says 55,000 for the year 2023, so you have to input here the actual amount or whatever is included, whatever is indicated in the IRS 2023 or the income tax of 2023. Alright? And then don't forget to put the total income in dollars. And that's gonna be for the page 6. Now, let's go and move forward to page 7. This is still continuation of the information of your sponsor or your petitioner. For question number 15, does any of the income listed above come from an illegal activity or source, such as proceeds from illegal gambling or illegal drug sales? You have to answer yes or no. Of course, our answer is no. And if you answered yes to item number 15, kung nag-yes ka, you have to provide the amount, how much or what amount of income comes from an illegal activity. Alright? Now, next is, so we're done with the income part. Now, you will be asked or to input the assets of the sponsor or the petitioner. Okay? So, fill out the table below regarding the assets available to you. Do not include any assets from any individuals named in part 2. Attach evidence showing you have these assets. Okay? So, in our case, guys, we did not declare the assets of my sponsor or my primary sponsor, which is my petitioner, because we already met the 100% poverty guideline for the income tax of his most recent income tax return. So that's why we just declared the income part and the amount here, and we did not provide the assets, guys, in this part. So we just put not applicable, and then 0, 0. Don't forget to put the total in 0 as well. Alright? So we're done with providing the details of your sponsor or petitioner, the income and the assets. Now let us move to question number 18. This is about the financial responsibility for other beneficiaries. For number 18, have you previously submitted a Form I-134 on behalf of a person other than the beneficiary listed on this Form 134? So, is your petitioner or sponsor have previously submitted another form from another person? So, was your petitioner was sponsoring another person aside from you? Answer yes or no. And we selected no. And if you answered yes to item number 18, provide the information requested in item numbers 19 to 20. If you need additional space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 8 additional information. So if you answered yes, you have to provide the details of the person aside from you, the beneficiary. Your sponsor is sponsoring, okay? That he provided and he filled out another I-134 for a different person. So you have to provide, for example, details of person 1 in person 2, family name, given name, middle name, and then alien number, date submitted, Same with the details that you are going to fill out in under person 2 for question number 20. If it does not apply to you, then I'll just put, just like us, we just put not applicable for question number 18, 19, and 20. Alright? Okay, so now let's proceed to page 8. Information, still this is the information of your sponsor or the petitioner as your primary sponsor. So, intend to provide specific contributions to the beneficiary. Question number 21. I select intend or do not intend to make specific contributions to the support of the beneficiary named in Part C. So, for us, we selected I intend and then explain the contribution. For example, if you intend to furnish room and board, state for how long. And if you intend to provide money, state the amount in US dollars and whether it is to be given in a lump sum, weekly, or monthly, and for how long. If you need additional space, use Part 8, additional information. So guys, for question number 21, item number 21, we just put in this field, please see Part 8 additional information. So, all the details pertaining to this question is we put that in the Part 8 additional information in a complete details, guys. So, that's why we put, please see Part 8 additional information, alright? Okay, now let's go to Part 4. Okay, Part 4, Statement, Contract Information, Certification, and Signature of the Beneficiary if filing for I-134 on his or her own behalf. So for Part 4, if you are the beneficiary and are filing Form I-134 on your behalf, complete and sign Part 4. Note that read the penalty section of the Form I-134 instructions before completing this section. So for Part 4, guys, this you can only fill out this part in Part 4 if you are sponsoring yourself or if the beneficiary is sponsoring herself. No other person is involved. Okay? If not, we'll just leave it blank and I just put not applicable to this. So for in our case, since I have a petitioner which is my primary sponsor and somebody is sponsoring me, I just put not applicable. Also for the beneficiary certification, I just put for the signature of the beneficiary here in item 6, I just put not applicable also. Alright, so technically item for Part 4, I leave it blank or I put not applicable. Okay, so for Part 5, it says here, if you are filing Form I-134 on behalf of someone else, the beneficiary listed in Part 2 complete and sign Part 5. So in this part of Part 5 is the statement, contract information, certification, and signature of your sponsor or your petitioner. Okay, so this is pertaining to your petitioner, guys. So, as a petitioner, as the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary, certifying the following. I selected this for item A. I can read and understand English and I have read and understand every question and instruction on this declaration and my answer to every question. For number 2, at my request, the preparer. So, for number 2, I leave it blank. We leave it blank because we did not have a preparer or even interpreter, guys. So, we leave it blank. I just selected A. And then, for contact information of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary, provide the daytime telephone number, the mobile number of your sponsor or petitioner, provide the mobile number of your sponsor or petitioner, and the email address of your sponsor or petitioner. Okay, continuation and page 10, certification of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So just ask your petitioner to read all of this. Okay, and then after that, your petitioner or sponsor must need to acknowledge. Okay, they need to sign put their signature in here under item 6, part 5, item 6, signature of individual agreeing to financial support of beneficiary. This will be the signature of your primary sponsor, which is your petitioner for K1, or your other sponsor. And then put a date. Do not forget to sign and put a date in here. Okay? So note to all individuals agreeing to financially support the beneficiary, if you do not completely fill out this declaration, or if you fail to submit required documents listed in the instructions, USCIS or the Department of State may deny or not consider your declaration, guys. So it's important to sign and then put date also. Okay? Part 6 will be the interpreter's contact information certification and signature. Guys, for us, this is not applicable for us because we did not use any body as interpreter. Okay, so we just leave it blank. We can also put not applicable. Ayan. And then, continuation part 6, interpreter's mailing address also is not applicable. Contact information interpreter, not applicable. Including the signature, we just put not applicable. For part 7, guys, this now is about if you have other people, let's say you have an attorney. For us, we did not have that. So we just put not applicable because we do not have a preparer of this form. We, the beneficiary and the petitioner, we were the ones who filled out this form. So, not applicable because we don't have preparer. Same thing here when you are asked to the preparer's mailing address, contact information, and the statement. Okay? And then certification, so we just also put not applicable. Alright? So, the last page will be the part 8 additional information, guys. So, remember earlier, in page 8, part 3, page 8, so we go back to page 8, part 3. Okay, remember in this part, you are asked, or the petitioner was asked, or your sponsor will be asked to explain further the contribution that they're gonna be, how much you're gonna sponsor you, what kind of contributions to the support that you will provide to the beneficiary. So, since we put, please see part 8 additional information in the last page, this is how we did ours. So, under part 8 additional information, guys, we just put family name, last name of the beneficiary, alien number, we put NE, and then number 3 is we identified page 8, what page was that, what page was this, and then part 3, and then item 21. And then, we just provide the specific contribution. So, we just said, I intend, this is for written by the petitioner, okay? So, the petitioner said that he or the sponsor intends to provide room, board, clothing, money, and all other needs for this person indefinitely, which is for the beneficiary. And that was just it, guys. If you have other items to include under the part 8 additional information, you can just provide here. If you need extra page, you just have to photocopy print more of this, and then you can just include it in your petition. So, just pointers, guys. Don't forget to sign. Don't forget to ask your petitioner or your sponsor of this I-134 to sign in page 5 or part 5. Do not forget your petitioner to sign in this part. Sign and put a date. And also, guys, it is important, guys, to review properly the gross income of your sponsor or your primary sponsor or your petitioner, the most recent income tax return and the gross income. It should meet the 100% poverty guidelines. You can always look up or check the table of the declared poverty guidelines in the US. It changes yearly, guys. So if you have an upcoming interview this year of 2024, of course, the most recent income tax return that you're gonna be using is for the year 2023. So you have to work and ask your petitioner or sponsor to verify the information or how much is his gross income last year, 2023, so that you can include that in your I-134 and then he can sign it for you. All right? So that's it for today, guys. I hope that I was able to give you an idea on how you can fill out and prepare the Declaration of Financial Support, or what we call the Affidavit of Support, for the K-1 petition or K-1 visa applicants who will have an upcoming interview at the U.S. Embassy in Manila within this year. So you can use this form reminder to always check the expiration date of the form. You can always check and visit the USCIS website and then check for the latest version and latest update of this form I-134. Alright, so thank you so much for everyone for your continued support. Please continue to support our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and in the next video, I'll be posting more about our K-1 visa journey. And hopefully, guys, we can hear good news from you guys. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section, and I'll try to respond to your question as soon as possible. Alright? Maraming salamat po, and have a good day ahead. Bye!